Thank you all for joining me. This is the largest live stream event that we have done in the 25-year history of Starbright. We're so excited to bring this to you. Here at Starbright, our clients are our friends, and we welcome you to our family. So I'm going to have Nick Fatos, senior partner and founder of Starbright, come on and say a couple of words. And I'll keep letting people in, admitting them into the room. You may recognize him from our website. You may have spoken to him on the phone. In 2017, he was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award by the City of New York and the hospitality industry for his work in promoting New York City as a top destination for tourism and travel. So everyone say hi to Nick. I'm gonna put you over here. We're gonna put you right in your stand.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great evening. I'm getting to see everybody from behind the scenes, looking at my monitor and answering your questions. And I said hi to Brooklyn already, and to Zach and a few other friends that we have online. And thank you all for coming, and welcome to our home. Welcome to Starbright Floral Design. We started the company about 25 years ago, and our focus has always been our client. Our focus has been our customer, and our commitment to give a level of service that is truly, truly unparalleled. Hoping to be able to show you a level of service that is unexpected. But with that in mind, the purpose of tonight is to promote our passion, which is flowers. And we love flowers. We know flowers make us feel good. And frankly, we don't care where you buy your flowers from, buy them. Okay, if you put a bouquet of flowers right next to you, it's amazing how much better you feel all day long. Caring for the flowers, looking at your flowers, they do tend to give you a feel good that just about nothing else will be able to compare. And I highly, highly encourage you to just go out, buy some flowers, play with them, cut them, put them in a vase, enjoy them. And when it's time for them to, when they start withering, get some more. So that's what tonight is about. From our standpoint, our flowers come from all over the world. We have farms that we buy from in South America, in Holland, in Africa, New Zealand, the South Pacific. And virtually every continent in the world is represented here at Starbright tonight. And many of the flowers that Nikki is going to be working with do come from different parts of the world. And I just wanted to welcome you to our home, let you know how much we appreciate the fact that you're here. And we hope that you enjoy the next hour. If you have any questions along the way, do send them along. I will try to answer. And some of them I will pass along to Nikki, and she will answer them for you live. And with that, I do want to turn it over to our latest hire. Her name is Nikki Avis. And Nikki runs our social media. She's a great addition to the team. We're very, very proud of her. We love her. She does a lot of work in special projects, runs all of our social media, whether you look at LinkedIn, whether you look at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of the posts come from one central location, and they're tied together with one central theme. And Nikki pretty much runs the whole show. She has complete freedom from a creative perspective, and she's amazing. Trained in flower shops in the Palm Beaches and in Sorrento in Italy, and a graduate of my university, the University of Florida, that I'm very, very proud of. I want to turn it over to Nikki for the next hour, and I will be back to thank everybody at the end of the show. Don't forget to stick around. We're going to be giving away a lifetime discount code at the end of the evening. Everybody who's here is going to be entitled to special pricing from Starbright forever. Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you again in about an hour. Take care, everyone. Have fun.
All right. Great. Thank you, Nick. So I'm going to keep admitting people in the room. So if you see me reach over, that's just what I'm doing. A little bit of everything. So I'm going to have a special guest with me here today, Michelle. Michelle works here too. She's been here much longer than me. She does a little bit of everything. She's on deliveries. You might see her up front in retail. She does some great plant work as well, if I do say so myself. And yeah, today she's going to be doing a little bit of designing, and I'll be making the Aries here, and she's going to make a little something of her own and show you all what she knows. So I'm going to talk about our design process first. I have been heading this whole, here, we can move this. I've been heading the astrology series. It's been so much fun. I always like to do a little bit of research first. So I look into what are the main traits? Who are people that I know? What kind of flowers do I think represent them? Do I want to focus on the element of movement? Do I want to focus on the element of color? What am I thinking? So for Aries, when I did my research, I found out that it's the first sign in the zodiac. So that means that there's a lot of momentum. It's a new beginning, which also made me think of spring. So I wanted to keep a nice spring, exciting arrangement. When I'm thinking about floral designing, the occasion is also something that matters. So this is going to be a birthday design. So I want to be something happy, something cheery, something that's going to make someone say, wow, versus if it was for someone's anniversary, maybe it'd be something more romantic. Yeah. Or if it was a funeral, maybe we'd stick to something more neutral and it's more of a, I'm sorry. But so this occasion is a happy one. And I looked at what the different traits are, and they're passionate, they're energetic, they're enthusiastic, and they're confident people. So when I saw, anyone in the room? So when I thought of passion and energy, one of the first flowers that came to mind is the red rose. So this is a beautiful freedom rose, and that is the variety of rose. So I know that anytime if I call any florist and I ask them, do you have freedom roses? Because it's that variety, I know that I will get the exact same thing. So this is another variety. This is called a red hearts rose. You can see there's a completely different texture, so many different types of petals. And these are two different very beautiful roses. I'll show you. This is how roses come to us. So we get them like this, and this is how they're protected. There's 25 in here, and there's some cardboard in here. And you can see right here, there's a sticker, and that's the variety. So this one is called a lemonade rose, which is this beautiful greenish yellow. They open up and they look like cabbages. So this is how it comes, just a little behind the scenes from us. So yeah, I picked the red rose, and as we go through the different flowers, I'll talk to you a bit more about each one, but this is going to be our focal flower. And I'm also going to give you some terminology here. It's nice to get these vocab words so that you can learn what the different elements of design are and learn a little bit of a guideline for how to design flowers. There are no rules in floral designing, but the guidelines do help you when you start. So these are red roses, a focal flower. We'll come back to that later, what that means. So the next flower that we have, because I want to be something springy, something beautiful, Aries is also a fire sign. So I want to incorporate some more warm colors. So we've got these beautiful hot pink lilies. These are called Acapulco lilies. And depending on what we have in the shop that week, if you order this, you might get Stargazer lilies, which is a very popular lily. It's this beautiful hot pink with light around the edges versus this one, which is all pink. And you can see there's many different blooms on here. So one of the big things that I want to do during this class is empower you to go and buy your own flowers, whether it's from the supermarket or a bodega or anywhere in the world. Go pick some, go forage them outside. I love doing that, just getting nice greens, especially when I was in Florida. I would go outside and find the craziest plants and just put them in a vase and hope my neighbors didn't see me stealing their plants. But so if you buy flowers at the store, you don't want them to all be blown open, like this is open. It's not all the way open, but this is partially open, because that means that they're old and they've been sitting there for a week. So you see how some of these are closed? These will open up later, maybe not every single teeny tiny one, but if you got flowers and you ordered lilies and they come like this, your initial reaction might be, oh my God, this is not what I ordered. I want these beautiful flowers that I saw, but really the florist is giving you very fresh, brand new flowers that have not been sitting in their stock for weeks. So I say that with roses too, like these are very nice and open. But if you buy roses, you don't want them to be completely blown up and you want them to be kind of tight if you want them to last longer. Now we talked about occasion. If you're hosting an event at your house and you want them to be beautiful that day, and that's all that matters is this moment right now, but you might want them to be beautiful and open. Exactly. Yeah, and you want it to be nice.
Use them right there, definitely for that event. But it's something that you're gonna have maybe a week or two from now. Get them closed.
Yeah, so it's different.
Definitely, yeah.
And it's whatever you want, whatever you feel that day. That's a big thing here. I'm going to give you all these rules, but you don't have to listen to me. My job is to sell this stuff to people, and you don't have to do that. It's just about your personal happiness. It's about exactly what you want, what you think is beautiful, what you think is fun. So I think these are beautiful and fun, and that's why we're using them today. So we'll get back to our lilies later. The next fun thing that we have, these are crazy.
I love this one.
These are crazy.
I love them.
This is called thistle, but this is crazy.
There's so many different kinds of weeds that we don't see the beauty in, and those are those are the best ones because they have the little blue tint.
Yeah, so these are
combination.
They're also known as sea holly, and we call them more commonly thistle. And these are just like huge ones. And you can see it's one stalk that all these different segments come on. So I'm going to break these off and use them individually today. But sometimes there's other thistle that it's more like this section where it's all clustered close together. So we also talked about this being a focal flower. This is considered a filler flower. So filler flowers by definition have multiple branches or segments coming off of it. But once again, you gotta make it your own. Filler, focal, these are just guidelines. But usually when you go buy your own flowers, I tell you, get some filler, get a focal flower, get some greens. So this thistle is something we're gonna use today. I really love the movement in it. I think it's a really cool texture. I find it very interesting. And that's why I chose it for this design. I wanted it to be something, energetic, passionate, something cool. We're starting it off hot, right? So we've got our thistle. And I always make a mess. So I'm just gonna throw this on the ground, right? You're gonna sweep it up later. So our next filler flower, this is called Saladigo, and you can see it also has these different little segments. So it's also called goldenrod, is a common name for it. And people around here call it Sally's, which I've never heard before. The first time this even was like, oh, let's just use Sally's. I was like, what?
It's easier to remember.
What are Sally's?
But for me to remember.
It's this. These are Sally's. So yeah, when they bloom, because these are still closed up a little because they're really nice and fresh. When they open up, they're this beautiful yellow that's just everywhere. Gorgeous. So very springy. Another bright, cheery color. Happy birthday to the Aries in our lives. Which also, I always think about the people. Both of my parents are Aries, my mom and dad. So they're also someone that I thought about. My mom loves the color red, so that's also where the red roses came from. So, hi. The last flower that I have here today, these are called Bells of Ireland. And that's two of them here. And Bells of Ireland, the first time I saw these, I thought they were the craziest things in the world. And I was like, I would never make a design with those. I was like, I don't know when I would ever use those. That's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen. But here I am today.
It's the beauty of it. It's the uniqueness of it.
Exactly. And there are all these different little segments, and underneath it actually has little like spikies. I don't know. You won't be able to see it, but sometimes it catches my finger and it kind of hurts. Yeah. And it's got a really great line to it. This is considered a linear flower. It's got this dynamic curve to it. So that's what this contributes to an arrangement. Other line flowers are gladiolas, if you're familiar with gladiolas, and also liatris, which is a cool like straight flower. So we're gonna use these. This is gonna be our accent piece at the end, and it's just gonna add like a finishing touch, a little bit of interest. And the Aries, the sign for it is a ram with ram horns. And all I'm saying is these kind of look like ram horns. Just a little sneak peek to what we're gonna be doing. So those are all our flowers. And while I'm making this, I'm also gonna have Michelle making a little something of her own, and I'm gonna help her with any questions that she has along the way. Hello, everyone. So Michelle's got this vase here. I'm gonna scoot you back a bit so you can have a seat. Michelle's got this vase here, and it's a nice square vase. And the trick that she's gonna do is she's gonna tape it up. So this is something that we do as florists. This is clear tape that she's got, and she's gonna tape it all the way around the edge, and then she's gonna make a tic-tac-toe, and then she's gonna tape it all the way back around again. And you can do this at home with a vase that you have with just Scotch tape. Just add a little bit of tape. It helps everything just hold in place, and it's really useful when you have a large opening. So if you have like a small vase, you don't really need to do it. But yeah, when there's a large opening, or if it's a shallow, wide vase, taping can be helpful, and it's a great alternative to foam, because foam is not so good for the environment. So we try to avoid it as much as possible. So something else that she's gonna do is she's gonna put a little vase treatment in here. So she's gonna put a leaf that she has. Let's scoot y'all a little further back. So she's got this beautiful leaf, and this is something that we like to do here. We put grasses, we put leaves, just something to add a little bit of interest in the vase as well, and not forget that part. The vase that I'm gonna use today is this nice, metallic-y, nice, shiny vase. And I'm gonna fill it up with some water real quick. And I'm just gonna keep admitting people. So Michelle's taping it up, and we also have some greens in here. So the first thing that you always want to do is green up your vase. So here's mine. We got lemon leaf today, which is just a very basic green. It looks just like leaf, right? And I've got a couple other things. I've got some eucalyptus, and we'll talk about all of it. So anything that goes below the water line is going to get taken off. So I'm just taking all of this off because I'm going to put this very close to the vase.
So if you take off the leaves, would that stop the water from forming, or having that look inside?
Yeah, so the leaves, any plant matter that you have in the water is going to turn into bacteria. So you want to keep your water nice and clean, and that's why we don't let any leaves go in. And you can see this is like one big piece. I can rip this and get 2 pieces out of it. So that's also how you save yourself from wasting too much. And when I put everything in, I'm gonna crisscross all the stems so they really lock together. We're building our vase from the bottom up. If I just stuck a rose right here in the middle, if I just stuck my little thistle, it's just gonna flop over and not do what I want. So I'm gonna start building out the shape. And Michelle's taping hers up. And I'm just gonna keep admitting people. All right.
Having fun.
Yeah, if anyone has flowers at home, feel free to get started. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. I've also got eucalyptus here, and that's gonna be one of the things that I use to green it up.
Doesn't that smell wonderful?
Yeah, the eucalyptus is so good, especially when it's fresh.
Yes.
And as I fill up my vase, I like to turn it as well. And I'm crisscrossing all my stems and turning as I go. And this is just to make sure you're not doing too much on one side. We really want to set ourselves up for success by engineering this whole bottom part nice for us. And then when we start putting flowers in, it'll all stay exactly where we want it to go. So here's some eucalyptus. I've got a couple different types. This one is called silver dollar eucalyptus. And it's got these beautiful circles. So this also, I can rip into multiple pieces. If I were doing a big arrangement, maybe I would just leave it as a big chunk. But I'm doing this smaller one. This isn't going for like a hotel or a big wedding or anything like that. So I'm gonna keep turning as I do this. I'm building out my shape. And sometimes I can use these two together as a piece as well. All right. And I'm just gonna keep going. This is seeded eucalyptus. So seeded eucalyptus has this beautiful texture. It's these little seeds here. And I love this for like wedding work, anything romantic, if I'm making a bouquet for someone. It's got really gorgeous movement, which I'm really trying to focus on movement in here. I'm just gonna keep going around. And in floral designing, things don't have to be symmetrical. It can be if you want it to be. So let's say you wanted the shape to be really nice and round. Then you've got this symmetry of maybe evenly placing roses around, and maybe it's not so wild. But I prefer something a little asymmetrical because nature is not symmetrical. And when you're making something, you want it to look like something that you would find outside. Like it should look like a plant. It should be growing from a certain point, and that certain point is going to be your focal point. So we'll get back to that with our red roses later. But as you can see, I'm really greening up my face. Or my face. I'm greening up my face. I'm greening up my face. Yours looks good. Here, show them your crisscross.
Okay.
So this is
go around. I go around the base actually several times through the whole 4 sides. Then you start going across and diagonal. But then after you do the shapes, then go back around it so that you can cover the little pieces that may stick up every now and then. But it's fairly done. That's it.
And
Now
it's a secret. Now she's going to cover it all with green.
yes.
Greens under here. You can, if you want anything over here, let me know. You can do it. I like to use a nice mix. I'm still cleaning off everything that goes below. I think that greens are important. Some people think having greens in arrangement makes it look cheap, but I think quite the opposite. There's such a beautiful variety of greens out there in the world today. And also some of it's expensive. The good stuff is expensive. And that's what we use around here. So,
But the best.
and the eucalyptus will also dry really well if you have the spiral eucalyptus, which I'll be using as well. I've literally got 3 different types of eucalyptus in here. So this will dry really nice, and then you'll have that as an arrangement forever. And it also grows locally if you're in New York.
And you can put some inside your humidifier.
People put it in their shower.
That's right. It's a really wonderful thing.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got my shape going here. You can see I'm kind of going wide with it. It's not like a very tight round, anything like that. I'm going very horizontal, and I'm building out the shape. And I always like to save a little bit of greens to add something later. But I've really set myself up nice here. So now everything else will stick. So she's greening up hers too. Do you have any questions yet? No? All right, cool. So we're gonna go with our filler flowers now. People always ask me what order to go in. It's not any strict rules, but it's nice to start with a filler flower. If you're using hydrangea, I highly recommend starting with hydrangea because it's so big, and it'll really start. You'll have like a nice big base to work off of, and then you can like sew your roses or whatever other flowers that you have into the hydrangea. So I'm gonna start with my Solidago, and I always cut it like it was so long. No way it's gonna stay that long. So I'll cut it a little bit, and then I'll measure it, and I'll do like, okay, if I want it to go here, then I measure it on the outside of the base, so I know it's gonna go in the right spot. And something else, another reason why we keep it clean is you're gonna move stuff around. You're gonna put it in and you're not gonna like where it is. That's how this works. You gotta play with it. It's nature. None of it's gonna look the same. None of it's gonna act the same. So you're gonna have to take stuff out. And if there's thorns and leaves, it's just gonna get caught when you're trying to take it out. So I'm gonna use 2 or 3 of my Solidago to start. And I'm gonna keep doing the same thing that I turn. And I want these really, the direction is gonna go out. And so I want this angle. I don't put all my flowers straight in. I want everything to crisscrossing, get some dimension here. That's something important, something that people don't think about when they don't know how to do flowers to begin with. There's got to be stuff deep inside. There's got to be stuff on the outside. There's got to be stuff everywhere. So even if it's a one-sided arrangement, you still need to put things in the back so it looks right, or it's just going to be unnatural. And something that we think about, like the reason why I'm so concerned about everything locking into place, is when I send an order out, it's going on a truck with someone, and it's going on a truck with someone through New York City. And I need to make sure that it gets there and it looks exactly the way that it looks when it left here. But if you're making flowers in your own house and you're just gonna stick it somewhere, everything's not perfectly locked in together and like maybe it moves a bit, but you're just sitting it there anyways, then that's fine. So now, see, we got it like exploding out of the center, right? So we've got our movement going. It's looking pretty cool.
It's looking great there.
The next thing that I'm gonna put in are gonna be my lilies. So this is such a big chunk, and this arrangement is not gonna be that big. So I'm actually gonna cut off this top segment. And if you have shears at home, we also use shears, but I use a knife. So I'm gonna cut this right here, and this other chunk can be used later. Maybe I'll put it in this design, but I've still got this. So I just got two chunks out of the same piece. So I'm gonna take this, and this is also gonna come out the side. Do we have a question, Nick?
Yes. Someone asked, what are you using to cut the stems? Just as you showed your shears. And I mentioned that you're also using a Swiss Army knife with a single blade. If you want to show your knife.
Yeah. So I've got a knife. This is just something that's quick for us to use. It's something you only need one hand. If you're using scissors all the time, that can just be bad for people. Like you might get carpal tunnel down the line. If you're a florist that works all day long and you're making this motion with your hand, it's really rough on you. If you're at home, scissors are totally fine, but you want a sharp pair of scissors so you get a nice clean cut on your flowers. You don't want to be smushing all the little holes that they drink up water through. Something else, when you buy flowers at a store, you want to make sure you always give it a fresh cut. Yes, so even our greens, like I'm not just going to stick it in. I need to give it a fresh cut because it'll actually develop a scab at the bottom when it's out of water for a while. And the scab will prevent it from being able to drink up. So you always want a fresh cut. I'm gonna put some of my thistle in too, since that's a filler that I'm using, and this is just gonna keep sewing stuff in together. So I'll keep turning this so you all can kind of see it all. Yeah, and I can feel that things are starting to like stick in place. Yes. So, and even like I'm gonna put these in places, but later, once I'm like putting my roses in, I might realize it has to move. So I'm just putting this in, still angling, cutting across all the other stems. And when you get a lot of flowers in there, also like you'll feel it. You'll be like, whoa, things are starting to get tight in here. It's really, there are certain flowers that you'll figure out. It's easy to just buy them and put them in a vase at home. Like if you're someone that likes hydrangea, maybe you'll just buy a pack of hydrangea, and those look really nice together. Hydrangea drink up a lot of water is their one thing. That's why it has the prefix hydra. So if you have hydrangea in an arrangement, you need to make sure you're topping off the water because they're going to drink up all the water, and the other flowers will end up having their stem out of the water. When you bring home flowers, you need to make sure you're cleaning up the water. Just topping it off for the first couple days, and then after that, you will want to switch out all of the water. Once it gets dirty, if you want to drink the water, then the flowers don't want to drink the water. Exactly. So that's our rule of thumb around here. I know people aren't going to switch the water every single day, but that is.
But it is, it's still, you know, exactly.
And
I agree with you 100%.
People ask about flower food, and flower food is good. Like we put flower food in all of our flowers. It helps keep the bacteria at bay. So keep your flowers fresh a little bit longer. I'm just still putting some fillers in. I'm gonna put I have 2 of these lilies. We have a question, Nick?
We sure do. We actually have 2 questions.
Okay.
Someone is wondering whether or not Michelle actually believes in water and whether her design needs water or whether.
Yes, it does, but I find it myself to be a little bit easier than putting the water in. But sometimes we get a little busy here, so we have to improvise. And unfortunately, that was a great question, and maybe I should have put the water in.
Well, actually, you usually put the water in after you're done.
Afterwards,
Okay.
correct.
And to you, which I think you've partially answered, Nikki, our great friend from Boston, Jackie, wants to know how often we should be changing the water in our flowers and whether we should be cutting the bottom of the stems and putting them back in. How does that work and how often?
Yeah, so as far as do you need to recut the stems, you don't have to. If you really want to, like, if these are flowers that you have at home and you notice that they're getting mucked up at the bottom, feel free to give them a fresh cut. It does help them drink the water faster. But if you buy flowers from a shop, it might be kind of hard for you to like lift this up, trim all the stems. If you're just keeping in fresh water, that's definitely a good way to go. I wouldn't say that you have to give a fresh cut to the flowers after a couple days. But if it's something simple that you have in your house and you know that you can give it a fresh cut, then that's nice.
Much easier for them to drink. That a diagonal area, if I'm not mistaken, 45.
Yeah. And with the hydrangea,
much easier to drink. Ooh, admit.
Yeah, I'm like, everyone's gotta come in. Okay, but you can see the shape that I'm starting to get here. So we've got our pink going out, we've got yellow, we've got blue, we've got a lot of color happening. And when I'm designing, you also have to take a step back because sometimes you get really stuck in here and you see everything close up, but that's not how people see flowers. People walk into your room and they see the flowers. So you have to take a step back and then you can see, oh, there's a hole here. This is kind of weird. I've taken some stuff out and moved it around already. Something else to think about is which way the flower is facing. So like maybe this lily would look better if I flipped it this way. Maybe I liked it the first way, you know? So that's something else to play with. And you really get to know how these different flowers act. And sometimes like, if you can't get it in somewhere, don't force it. Just let the flowers talk to you. They can tell you what they want. How you did? That was good.
Wait, I'm watching. I think I want some of that yellow.
You want some of that yellow?
I want some of that.
Yeah.
I know. No, you know what? I'm gonna deal with the rest that she did today. Some red. You know, like Mama loves red.
I want to see it all.
So I want her
Do
to
it. Go
see.
crazy.
I want her to see that this
And you
is
have got whole days too. So
yeah,
feel
I
free to
got the
color over.
hydrangeas. I'm gonna slide it over there and do that.
So I'm gonna put some of this eucalyptus in. I'm doing the same thing. I'm cleaning it off. This isn't gonna be as tall as it is right now. So I do this with eucalyptus. It will get sticky on your hands. So I'm used to my hands being sticky. If you're not into that, maybe use a knife or something. A way that we like to clean
Or
up
some
stems
gloves.
sometimes. Yeah, or gloves.
will work.
So I'll take a knife and if you put it on the table and go away from you like this, but you need like to be on the table, then that can help you clean up stuff easily. You can do that with roses too. That's how you get thorns off, but always cut away from yourself. So I'm gonna cut this a little shorter and I'm gonna just like sew this in the middle of it. So I talked about the focal point and where it's growing out of. This is gonna be growing right out of the center. You could make it be growing out of like an off center. You can kind of play with it. It doesn't have to be the middle, but you'll see. You'll see how this goes. And I'm just gonna keep going with this eucalyptus. It doesn't all have to be just like in the top, or it doesn't have to be in the side. You can kind of mix it all around if that's more your vibe. One can be coming down.
Now, is there any type of order which they should follow? Like say, for instance, if I'm using these beautiful babies, should I keep it that tall or maybe I should like come down some?
So with those beautiful babies, I would do those last.
Definitely.
Whatever else you're gonna put in, because those might get smashed.
Right.
Is an issue.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
So like if you're gonna do hydrangeas, that's why I was saying I would
Let me
do
work
that
with the
first.
hydrangeas first.
Yeah, go grab
I'm
your
gonna
base. You're so crazy with it. And yeah, so if you have very delicate flowers, especially like I'll call it an accent flower, then you want to do that at the end. So that'll be like your ranunculus, your anemones, in this case, these orchids. So like this little baby, you put this in first, and then you put a hydrangea on top of it. It's just gonna get smashed, it's gonna get lost, no one's gonna see it. So this is just like at the end, your finishing touch. So that's how I'm gonna use the Bells of Ireland today. But here we go. I'm still getting some really good movement here.
Okay. As usual, you're correct, Nikki.
I'm always right.
You're always right.
Because I'm a Virgo. See, okay, so see, she's got her hydrangea in first. So she's got this beautiful, nice base to work with, right? And now she's just gonna fill in these other holes here.
Oh. These big babies.
Okay. Where was I?
The big beauties right here.
Yes. Those roses are gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Dropping things.
So what would you call these?
I'm not sure what that variety is, but it's this beautiful, like buttery color. Show it up there. They're huge.
They're huge. Imagine these. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
They're gorgeous. And they're long lasting.
Yes. Yes.
So that's only also the variety. Sometimes you'll figure out certain ones like die after a couple of days, like maybe it looked really nice, but it's always an experiment.
Do you think that the flowers react to the humidity, maybe perhaps?
Yeah, like my apartment is so hot, so flowers just dying there like immediately, like compared to my friends who I give flowers to. Theirs will last way longer than that. I'm not saying I'm jealous, but I'm a little jealous.
It does make a difference.
So you don't want to have flowers in like direct sunlight is another thing. People think that it's like a plant and you want to have it in the sun, but it's not. The sun will actually kill it. And when you put water in, you want it to be room temperature or cold water. You don't want anything hot. Wow, those colors are gorgeous together, right?
Oh, look at me, look at me.
Show it to them. Nice.
Nice.
See? Yeah.
Now we're gonna add some of them pretty reds.
That's nice. No, that's such a cool color.
I love it.
Because it's almost like a Christmas,
right,
but different. Like you put a little
took the
twist
words out of
on
my
it.
mouth. Took the words out of my mouth.
Okay, so I'm gonna take my red roses and I'm gonna start putting them in. So like we talked about before, I wanna clean off any thorns. These ones aren't particularly thorny, but roses also have these things called guard petals. So around the edge, they'll sometimes be like an ugly little
Just peel them off. Just peel them off.
We peel them off, but if you like it,
You can keep it.
The flower's not dying. People think
No.
they're dying. That's usually why we take it off, because people don't understand it. But it's called a guard petal. It keeps it kind of closed, nice and tight. So I'm gonna cut this short, and these are gonna go right in the center. And it's not gonna be high up. I'm gonna actually put these kind of like lower in, and it'll keep all the visual weight kind of in the center. And what I'm doing with the line, all the different line flowers here and all the movement, it's coming right to the center point here. And I'm gonna group 3 roses together. I'll turn this around for you in a second so you can see it. But grouping flowers together makes them pop even more. So rather than spreading it all out evenly, when you group a same type together, it really pops and people notice it. So that's what I wanted with the red roses. It's gonna be the center. Your eye goes directly here. And also it's nice sometimes when you have like 3 of something together. 3 is one of those magic numbers that just looks nice, it looks natural. So I'm just playing with it a bit until it looks perfect. And I'm also gonna sneak in a little bit of greens here because it'll just make it look more natural. I'm gonna take some lemon leaf. My little mess we got going down here.
I know.
No one look under the table.
Don't look under the
That's why you can't see it. So I'm gonna take a little bit of lemon leaf and I'm just gonna tuck it by the roses, and it's gonna kind of look like it's growing with the rose. So here we go. Oh, it's perfect. I'm gonna tuck in another one. The flowers also like it when you tell them they're pretty. It makes them pretty. They listen. It's like
They
people talking to their plants.
Wow.
So here, I just put these 3 red roses in the middle. You can see. So I've got this center, the focal, all the visual weight is here. Your eye directly goes here, and everything else in this composition is leading you there. So all this line, all the lilies are leading you there. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Girl, you're already done.
That's beautiful. I want your design.
You want me to
I
do this
want
one?
your design.
I have another one downstairs too. So this is actually available to buy already on our website. We put it up today. So if you know anyone whose birthday is between the 21st and the 19th of April, 21st of, hold on, wait, March. I'm like, what year is it?
20th.
Then they're in Aries, if you didn't know that already.
Yes.
And this is available exclusively here in New York. So send it, send it, send it. You're gonna get your discount code later today. I don't like this here. Yeah,
No, it actually, no, it looks nice.
of course it looks nice. Oh my God, Barbie. No, I didn't like it there.
Because
See,
now
I'm
it
playing
becomes a hole. There's a hole there.
There's a hole, but I won't fix it.
I hope you do.
Here, we'll do that.
Okay, that one will work.
Because I want the red roses to be
To be the eye
the main
power.
thing here. Yeah, there's a goal here. I have a plan.
Okay,
I have a plan.
okay. But always the lilies would always look more beautiful than a rose.
Really? You're more of a lily gal?
I'm a lily girl.
I'm not a lily. I like them. They're really pretty. But they smell. Some people really like the way they smell. Some people don't.
I actually, but that's why you buy flowers. It's for the smell.
Some people go for the smell. Fragrance is an important thing, but if you're doing like an event, if you're putting flowers on a table where you're eating
That's not.
and you don't want it to mess with their palate,
Stay away from lilies.
yeah, and you don't want lilies for sure.
Something new.
And lilies are also poisonous to cats. So if you're someone that has a cat that likes to eat your plants, then you're not gonna want lilies. I also found out recently that eucalyptus can be poisonous.
Yes, it can.
So it's another interesting thing. If you're sending flowers to someone that you know has an animal, then maybe you want to say they have an animal. Don't put any lilies or anything that's toxic to animals.
Give it.
All right, so I got my red roses on this side, and right now I'm just going through and I'm gonna look for any holes. We talk about holes. It's just like a gap. There is such thing as like a beauty and empty space. I'm gonna scooch all closer to me, maybe. You can still see what I'm up to. I'll hold it up for you too,
No,
but just so I can
You
reach.
need to.
But so I'm looking at holes. I'm moving some stuff around. If something isn't quite where I want it to be, I'm gonna say, okay, I need a little bit of something here. And I like to I'll get down on the level with it. Because maybe someone's gonna see something that I didn't see just because I was looking from above. So your perspective matters. It matters where you're gonna put it. And I can go in my greens too. Like if something I just need it to be brought out a bit, then this is when this comes in handy. I'm gonna tuck this one in a bit. Thank you all so much for being here. This is so much fun. This is how I like spending my Thursday evenings with all of you. I've done quite a few of these classes. We did some for Google. We did Pfizer, HSMAI. I'm not sure if any of you all are in here, but oh no. Someone tried to join and I would love to let you in. But these have been so much fun for me. Where are you? It'll pop up again. Let me. Yeah, but these are so much fun for me. And normally, if you're in New York, we'll send you flowers straight to your home, and you get to follow along with fresh flowers. And I talk about the specific ones you have, and you get to enjoy them all week long. And I even do them out of the state. I'll call out to other florists and tell them exactly what the recipe is And I've done some birthday parties for people, which is fun. And what else have I done? Just all these great celebrations. And I really like figuring out different stuff too. So I want to do like a succulent workshop. And of course, when we can all come together again, I want people to come here and be able to do stuff. My recent brain blast was to do art in the park.
Wow.
And for us to bring some floral designs
Sign me up.
to the park, and people can come and do
That would be a
painting or drawing of flowers that we bring for
Sign me
free.
up.
So if anyone's interested, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn. I'll keep you up to date on all that stuff. All right. So I really like where this is so far. We've got our red, it's our fire sign, right? We've got the focal point. And now our accent piece de resistance, since we're coming to the end of our program, is going to be our bells of Ireland. So I'm gonna put it, so the way that it faces is important. So I could have them both face the same way, or I could have them both like this. We're gonna do like this because it's gonna kind of look like the ram horns, right? So I'm gonna pop it in here. And this is gonna add so much movement. It's gonna really make the piece look finished. It's gonna make it look beautiful and much taller than it looked before. It's bringing this whole new dimension. Ooh, I love it. And these also have this little like floppy piece at the end, and we always take that off because that dies.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
They're so cute.
Do they come like that or?
Yeah, it has little floppy boys. We take them off around here. But that's something, you know, if you bought your own from the store, you don't have to.
That's definitely.
And you know, you can also go, if you live in New York, we have the whole flower market here. And it's open to the public. So you can go in, you can just ask them, how much is this? You can grab a bunch of this, a bunch of that. It's almost spring, so it's almost time for our spring virtual tour that I run on our Instagram. So once again, follow us there. Cool. So I'm really going in, this is called detailing at the end, when you just like move your final little things around, maybe pop in some greens. I said I like to always keep some. Doing like a nice finished thing around the edge is called collaring, especially when it's all of one type of flower or green. So you want like a nice collar, just like gives it a clean finished look. It tells the eye to end there, you know? So that's something to think about. You have to lead people in design. And these elements of design are not only for flowers. This is for painters. This is for graphic designers. This is for if you're someone that does ceramics or any other type of art. Floral design is an art, and it's a practice, and it's something fun to do. And you should be present and listening to the flowers and understanding that these aren't going to last forever. It's just a moment in time that you get to spend with yourself and with nature. And it's a great way to bring nature inside and just express yourself through a different medium. It's not something that people do every day. They think there's a big barrier to entry, but there's really not. I mean, you can go buy your own flowers and you just need one vase. You can get some little bud vases and keep some little bud vases in your bathroom and next to your bedside table. Yeah, it doesn't have to be expensive.
That's right.
And the final thing we do is we put a pendant. We got the little Aries sign so that they know. This one has the sign for Aries and the ram. You probably can't see it, but we'll tie this on. I'm gonna put it on one of the nice big old thistles. And that way they have a little charm that they can keep with their little horoscope sign on it. So yeah, this is our energetic new spring. Happy birthday, Ram, Aries design.
The little horns.
And it will be available only for the next month on starbrightnyc.com. You can call us on the phone as well. You can come in and pick it up yourself or have it delivered. We do all 5 boroughs. And we're so happy to have you all here today. This was so much fun. I'm happy that so many of you are interested in what we do here. Get this little behind the scenes. We miss people being able to walk in and hang out with us. We miss having our big New York City family, but we're so happy that we can come on Facebook Live, on Zoom, and we'll post this on YouTube later. So subscribe to Starbright Floral Design on YouTube. I was so happy to have all of you here. Thank you so much. Are there any final questions in the chat? Anything else before we close up? I'm sure everyone's about ready to go. Thanks. Thank you, Teddy. Oh, thank you, everyone that came. It was so nice to see you all virtually. I appreciate all the love. Oh, thank you, Sam. I hope you all go buy your own flowers and make something beautiful like Michelle did over here.
There you go.
Nice,
You gotta be a designer
nice.
to bring out some beauty.
Everyone's a designer. Everyone's an artist.
That's right.
So
Your own way.
I'll see you all later. Thank you all for joining us. And Nick is also going to put a discount code. Your big discount code is going in the chat. So stay tuned to get that. You can use it forever. It'll never expire. And you're going to get $12.50 off of every order. This is available right now on Starbright NYC, and it's on sale for the next couple days. So get it now if you have an Aries in your life. And you can use your discount code with it being on sale and get
Good luck.
extra money off. And you can sign up for our frequent flower program and get extra money off. And thank you all so much. So happy to have you. Nick just put it in the chat, so write it down.
Quick.
Write it down quick.
Right now.
And I'll see you all on social media. I'll see you all around here. Thank you to my family and friends. Thank you to everyone that I don't know personally. And I think Nick might want to come in and say a little toodaloo as well.
Thank you all for coming by today. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed chatting with each and every one of you. Great questions, amazing comments, and we're just a very, very happy family and a great team. So proud of Nikki and so proud of Michelle and everybody that's on the Starbright team right now. They're doing an amazing job. And just go buy some flowers and feel good. Smile when you go home. Love you all. Thank you so much. We thank you for your support. We thank you for everything.
We're always here for you. So reach out to us. You know Nick and Nikki. You know Stephen now. You know Michelle. You know all of us. So welcome to the family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love to hear from all of you again. All right, I'm gonna end this for you guys. Thank you. You all are awesome. I appreciate it. Ciao.